Bean floats into Maru with her mom by her side. There's a prophecy, but what is it? And shh. Shut the hell up.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
What's up, party people? Thank you so much for joining us at AfterBuzz. Let me just tell you something real quick. This show is the bomb. Matt Groening has produced modern situations with The Simpsons, future situations with Futurama, but this time around, he's created a blast from the past with the Netflix animated series Disenchantment. It is an adult-driven fantasy show that is set in a janky medieval kingdom called Dreamland. Bean, our main character, our protagonist, aka Tiabeanie, is the female protagonist with a bit of a drinking problem, and her two faithful companions, of course, the elf, Elfo, and her own personal demon, Luci. I'm thinking it's short for Lucifer. Bean is a mess, and the whole kingdom knows it. So real quick, we're going to shout out the main players here because they're awesome. Eric Andre is Luci, Abbi Jacobson is Bean, Nat Faxon, one of those, is Elfo, John DiMaggio is King Zog, the dad, and Tress McLean is Queen Una. I love everybody on this show. I think Matt has done it again. I mean, really, this guy can't go wrong. These characters are so well thought out. They're fleshed out. They're great. And the fact that he brings it full circle, right? He did the future, he did now, in the present, and he's going back to medieval times, nonetheless. So let's get into it. The first show is season 2, episode 1, called The Disenchantress. And it is quite interesting. I have to just say this, too. The references to today's political, pop culture, and social commentary are always on the nose. It's like so much to pay attention to, and you want to grab every good bit and make sure that you play it back in your mind later, because it's going to make you crack up. You're going to laugh out loud. It's funny stuff. So Bean wakes up on a new island, right? She finally meets her other family that she's known nothing about, her Aunt Becky, her Uncle Cloyd, and they seem a little off, weird, you know. She brings it to her mom's attention because, you know, now they homies. They've met, they've bonded. Bean is a grown-up, sort of, and her mom is older and wiser and, well, she was stuck for 15 years. But the point is that they're together again, right? So they're super happy about that. Her mom can't wait to introduce the rest of the family. But they're weirdos. So Bean is alone on this trek with her mom. Unfortunately, Elfo's dead. He got shot with an arrow back on Dreamland. And the Luci was kidnapped and bottled by the aunt and the uncle. So she's by herself. She's trying to figure this thing out. And her mom seems like she's for her, but not so, she don't know, right? So then there's a sacrifice that she learns about. She overhears that there's a sacrifice to be made. It's a whole ceremony. And her mom is the one that's spearheading this thing. She's fulfilling a prophecy. We're still not sure what this prophecy all entails, but it sounds crazy, okay? Amazeballs and crazy at the same time. So what is Bean to do? She's gonna figure it out, of course. She's putting 2 and 2 together. She's got a map. She's got a this. She's got a that. She tells her mom, listen, something is awry. Her mom's like, no, everything's fine. I don't know what you're worried about. So then when finally the cat is out of the bag, so to speak, or Luci is out of the bottle, you like that? Then it becomes really good because she goes on her quest. Because at the end of the day, as crazy as these three are, as completely misfits as they continue to show that they are, they still have a great deal of faithfulness to each other. They love each other. They're like their own little family. So even though mom has showed up and Bean aspires to be a better daughter for her mom and have this great relationship, at the end of the day, these are her real homies, and she knows it, and that's what's up. So she starts looking for everybody to bring the gang all back together, and by getting them back together, they meet in hell. What other place would they meet, right? They meet in hell. The plan with Luci spearheading or forging forward in terms of what needs to be done is that they can't meet in heaven, because obviously Luci wouldn't be accepted there. They go to hell. But Elfo's in heaven, so how does he get there? They got like this little magic, like satellite dish situation. They send him a message, they close their eyes, and they hope for the best. So that's where it ends. They really don't know what's gonna happen. But the next show is great because we end up with heaven and Elfo. He's talking to God, who has brown skin, by the way. I don't know if you noticed that, but I did. pretty freaking awesome. Yeah, so he has the brown skin. God is the coolest. Elfo's like, listen, I need to be banished. You need to send me to hell. And God's like, what are you talking about? You're a cool kid. You can't offend me. You can't do anything wrong. I love you more than you'll ever know. Elfo's like, yeah, I guess that's cool, but I don't really care. Because I need to be with my homies. And if I can see Bean one more day, I'm sorry, heaven just can't cut it. So, of course, he goes on this quest to, like, offend God and say something that he knows will get him banished. And it's pretty freaking hilarious. I love this quote. Luci quotes when they're in, because of course they end up in hell. They make it there. Elfo says some craziness about talking bad about Jerry, because Jerry's in heaven too, which is so cute. Poor Jerry. He's like the brain of a 10-year-old, right? So you gotta love him. Jerry ends up there. I love his accent. It's so pronounced. And while they're talking, Elfo is rude to Jerry, and God's like, what's your deal? Like, that's what gets him banished. So they all end up in hell. Obviously, they don't find each other immediately. There has to be this whole rigmarole as to how things work. So they're on this long staircase that leads with no banisters. Remember that part? It's a sick mind that makes these kind of stairs with no banisters. It's called Lucifer, a.k.a. the devil. What did you think? Anyway, while they're walking down these steps, they're talking mess, and they're trying to figure things out. And one of my favorite quotes is when Luci says to Bean, you're in hell, surrounded by treacherous, evil demons. We get promoted for being jerks. Kind of like the music industry. Come on, y'all. There's a million of them in here. Matt Groening is so good at being able to interweave different kinds of elements of what's going on now into a time that obviously this was not happening, you know, and he makes it seamless. So that was hilarious. Got one more quote because I absolutely love this one too. And this is Luci again. He says, you know, hell is a maze. Kind of like if a castle lived a hard drug-fueled life. I mean, what better way to put it, right? Every time they stepped off of one step, something else came towards them. They kind of had to finagle, flip, come back around, drag it out. She puts on her suit, which I absolutely love, because that's supposed to be, what, like a costume that nobody can tell it's her. That's so good. And then they run into Hansel and Gretel, which is so good, because she's like, I know you. And of course, Bean's like, I don't think so. She's the one that killed him. I kind of think they know each other. But of course, she plays it off, and she's like, no, it isn't me, because she has on this costume, and nobody knows that she's actually not a demon, that she's really Tiabeanie, princess of Dreamland. You gotta love it. The characters are great. It all comes together so well. So, moving forward, what I'm going to do, not this week, because I wanted to announce it to you guys so you have time to prepare. Next week, I'm gonna have a special segment. It's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna pick a line from the show, one of the shows, and you, as a viewer, in our chat rooms, have to kind of converse and figure out who I am, what the scene is about. I mean, you ain't got to get into great detail, but as long as you can, like, pinpoint what the whole gist of the situation is, and just for the record, yes, I'm a voiceover actress, but I'm not, like, the authority on every character. So I will do my very best impersonation of whichever character I decide to land on, yeah? And then you guys come in and say like, oh, I'm a smack. I know exactly who that is. Now, whoever gets the most throughout the season correct, we would love to have you join us. So not just a chat. We were thinking maybe we could Skype you in. We could have a conversation and you can help me host the show. Yay, right? Yay! I think it's going to be awesome. You'll come on, we'll have a conversation, we'll dissect the show, we'll break it all down, and we'll do our best impersonations. Clearly, I like the English one the best. But yeah, we'll see what we can see. So I want to hear your thoughts. I'd love to know what you guys think. This is a great show. Obviously, it's well done. Matt is come on now, he's an icon in animation at this point, and he brings a lot of great stuff to the table. So we are looking forward to having you join us. All right, I would like to talk just a little bit about Tiabeanie. She obviously has a drinking problem, right? We know that part. But what do you think of the fact that she just recognized that it's because of her dad that she has this problem? Like, the fact that he's unwilling to have a real conversation with any emotions, other than his wife, though, I have to say, right? My producer here, I'm conversing with my producer.
Yeah.
Did you love that part? The fact that he allowed himself to be a little vulnerable?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he never talks to anybody else about anything. He's a hard ass, right? With that voice over there. And he's always so goddamn going crass. You gotta love it. But you also love the fact that he was able to allow himself to feel vulnerable and loving and all the rest of that to a woman that essentially stabbed him in the back. I really didn't see that coming either. Like, I didn't think that the mom would ever be mean or nasty. I mean, come on. She loves her daughter, right? Or so we thought. So that was an interesting twist. I want to know what happens to the mom, too, because Tiabeanie meant to kill her. And by the way, what is this, like her 6th murder? I love how she justifies all of them, though, right? I never kill anyone that wasn't mean to me or didn't deserve it or got in the way. I mean, what is she, like 16? Maybe 19? I think she's still a teenager, right? Yeah, I'm not sure how she gets away with killing all these people. Probably because she's the princess. But it is interesting that she killed her mom, kind of deservedly so, only for her mom to reappear in the next scene and be like, ha ha, gotcha. So that should be interesting to see how that comes full circle. Is the mom dead? Did she manage to kill her? And what is with this prophecy? I've got to know. Like, okay, you're having a ceremony and you're sacrificing your baby, but like, what's supposed to come to pass as a result of doing this? Because they already tried it with Jerry, which I'm not even sure why, because Jerry's not the smartest. Like, he's not the sharpest knife in the drawer. But I think he became a little 10-year-old goofball as a result of the ceremony. I don't think that he was always a little touched. That's my theory. I could be wrong, but that's the impression I get.
I think they put the crown on him when he was 10, and it drove him insane.
And he just never recovered.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I can see that. So why you would put the crown? What's with the crown? What is that all about? And why is the aunt Becky, or Rebecca, as she goes by now, and Cloud, what's the name? Cloud. Why are they so, like, interwoven into this storyline? Like, what is that about? Cloyd. What'd I say?
Cloud.
Cloyd. My bad. That would be a W as opposed to a Y. Yeah, I'm just trying to find out, like, what their vested interest is in all of this and how they're going to make it work. Clearly, there's a triangle situation, right, within the family, and it's all bad. But I don't get the impression that there's much good in any of these situations. All the dad does is yell and scream. And what about the stepmom, though, right? She is creepy. I cannot stand. And I'm trying to figure out, like, do you think that the son of the creepy stepmom and King Zod has, like, any powers or anything? Do you know what I mean? Because the stepmom is clearly gross. She's like some amphibian, weird. She eats flies and tongue flicks out and she can in the water and she got suction cups for, yeah, she's gross. But I love the way she talks. She says, is drowning or is. You gotta love that, right? I think that's so funny, clearly. But I wanna know, like, what's with the son? Like, clearly he's not, like, normal. I mean, his dad's like an ogre, so to speak. And his mom is an amphibian that we can't seem to figure out, that doesn't have legs because she like everywhere she goes. I don't think that's a word, but you know what I mean. And I just wonder, like, what kind of things are going to come about as a result of them having a child together. I think, like, one day he'll show up and be like, I don't know, some superhero that's able to, like, see through walls or cure people dying, or clearly I'm thinking of the positive stuff. It can be a very dark show too, so his powers might not be the best. But I do think it's intriguing, and I cannot wait for the rest of this to happen. You know, I thought that in the first season, it would be kind of like neatly sewn up, and I would get everything, and it would all come together in this little bow. But what was I thinking? That's not Matt Groening's style ever, right? He likes a lot of open-ended situations. He loves to create the social commentary, the political aspects. I love the references to the LGBTQ community. You know, we don't really get into, like, gender specific. You know, there's all these comments that are made about literally what is going on in today's society and making fun of it. I mean, and what's better than that? You gotta poke fun at this stuff, otherwise you will literally go insane. I mean, there's something to be said about people, comedians especially, that are able to find humor in very dark times. So I really, really dig this show, obviously. I really hope you do, and I'm looking forward to the conversation. So the special segment, as I share with you, is going to be me pulling out some line of one of the two shows that, and we're going to encompass 2 shows for every show. So that means we're watching 1 and 2 this week. Next week, it'll be 3 and 4, 5 and 6, you get it. And then of those 2 shows, that's where I'm going to get a little sneaky, try to draw something out, and then you tell me what's going on. And we're calling that segment, Shut the hell up. You gotta love it, right? Who does that? The mom's like, shush, darling. You just know she's comforting her. And before you know it, she's telling her own daughter to shut the hell up. Well, she told her to shut up. The guy that took over told her to shut the hell up. I mean, it has the same effect. So it works for me. I love that the overseer remember when she couldn't keep a job? And the overseer was like, you're a natural at this. Come on board with me. I'm kind of sick today. I can't kill anybody. But you're going to do great. You know what another character that stood out that I absolutely love? The witch, right? The cackling witch that finally got her spell broken. She was able to talk. I know it didn't happen in these 2 episodes. This is last season. I know this. I get it. I'm just giving a little background to kind of give you a overall view of how interesting the characters are and how they kind of just all intertwine with each other. There's always somebody in the town or the castle or the kingdom that lends themselves to something else. Do you know what I mean? Something that happens at the top of the show is most assuredly you're going to see somehow at the back end. Just because that's how Matt works, and I absolutely, so you have to pay attention. I love it because it's going to be like mentioned in passing, and then all of a sudden it becomes like part of the storyline, and you like, oh yeah, I remember when he said that, or I remember when he did that. You know, the witch scratches her. I thought that was going to turn into something else though. Like a gross witch just on the street that scratches you and like draws blood. I was just totally convinced that, Bean would be sick or, I don't know, something bad was going to happen. But then Mom came along and I don't know what you're talking about and fixed her scars and stuff. She should have known then. But like they said, throughout the show, right? Love blinds you. You didn't know. She loves her mom. She wanted to believe that she was there for her. I want to believe my mom's there for me till she got in a drunken rage and slapped the shit. I'm kidding. It didn't happen. But it could, and I could totally see Bean's mom getting in some kind of crazy drunken rage. She's already told her, you're a drinker. I mean, come on. I'm your mom. I did this. Why did she poison the dad, though? I thought they were, like, in love. What was that all about? And then she stoned everybody. She's pretty mean. Yeah, but it kind of runs in the family, as they said, right? Insanity is something that they can look forward to in this family. They know that is, and murder is a symptom of that insanity. I love that they were breaking it down and saying like, well, Aunt so-and-so did this and Grandma so-and-so did that. So yeah, you pretty much have the bug that we all have suffered from, which is we're crazy. So moving right along, long as you understand that going forward, you'll be fine. Just take that into consideration of everything that you do. So yeah, I think this is going to be awesome. Some predictions that I have for next week. Let's see. I predict that the 3 of them are going to always be friends. That's kind of a given, isn't it? That was weak. No, but I love them together. I do. They add such an interesting element because, again, he's a demon, right? Lucifer. But Lucy is kind of a good person, right? Like, he got them out of hell. He made sure that they were able to fly away. He got his wings. He had a whole plan. And I knew you could count on him. Like, he doesn't, he's a bad guy, but is he though? Is he really? He loves Bean. There's no question about that. He definitely loves Elfo now, even though they seem to have a rough start beginning. And the 3 of them together, I think they're going to rule it. And hey, did you notice in the second show, Bean did not get drunk? I'm just saying, there might be a chance for her yet. Sobriety might be something that she can, lean into every once in a while. Because that girl likes to drink. She can most certainly drink your ass under the table. That was fun to watch. I really enjoy this show. I think it's going to be awesome this season. And I'm so glad that you've decided to join me. So please join us in the chat. Try to guess my segment. And come join me at the end of the season so we can talk about it. Because what fun is it to watch if you can't have a conversation, right? All right, that's it. Thank you so much for joining me again. I got my predictions out. I got my special segment. I will see you next week, and we'll talk more Disenchantment. My name is Kittie Kaboom. Please check me out on social media at KITTIEKABOOM. Good night.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.